Former President Donald Trump vowing a return to politics in yesterday's ceremonial farewell. Take a listen.
The things that we've done have been just incredible, and I couldn't have done it without you. So just a goodbye. We love you. We will be back in some form.
Trump has reportedly brought up the topic of forming a new political party in the future. The Patriot Party is what he would call it. Joining us now to talk about this, the host of America Right Now on Newsmax here, Tom Basile. Welcome to the show. Nice to see you.
Good to see you, Rob.
You know, the president has floated this idea before. He is a businessman at heart, and throughout his presidency, he will float an idea, sort of gauge the reaction, and then make his decision based on that reaction. Do you think this is something that he actually does over the next couple of months or years?
I don't. I think that it's very dangerous, and I think that his advisors, unless they're just looking to make a lot of money off of it, his advisors are going to say, hey, this hasn't worked before. I tend to think that this is a bit of a veiled threat to Mitch McConnell or to congressional leaders and others that he may try to primary. But look, Rob, good politics has always been about addition and multiplication, not division and subtraction. And we saw in Georgia that when the Republican Party is not totally united, it loses in tight races, in swing districts, in swing states. And if you look back at history, and I'll just take the national level stuff, when you look back at history, the injecting a third party, typically doesn't go well. Teddy Roosevelt ended up beating the heck out of William Howard Taft, his own protege, in 1912, and that gave us Woodrow Wilson. Wilson, the father of the administrative state. We saw in this election Jo Jorgensen from the Libertarian Party. She was the margin of the Biden victory in a number of states that could have flipped this election to Donald Trump, or certainly made it electorally a heck of a lot closer. A lot of people think that George H.W. Bush was beaten by Bill Clinton. He actually wasn't. He was beaten by Ross Perot.
So like 20% of the vote in 1992, right? So Ross Perot was a serious candidate with 20% of the vote. That we might not have had Bill Clinton in the early 90s there, and the subsequent second term as well. President Trump has got 74 million people voted for him. Not everyone is in ardent, they're supporters of the party, maybe. I'm sure they like what President Trump accomplished. Maybe they weren't fond of his tweets and things like that. Of course, we see that all the time. But the president, he would siphon off a huge number of Republican voters in the midterms or in 2024 if he were to do something like this.
Yeah, the party, look, the Democrats have a superior get-out-the-vote operation. They have a superior human infrastructure. Remember, Joe Biden is going to be paying off all these public employees unions, all these liberal causes over the next 2 and 4 years, and that's only going to strengthen them. So it becomes even more important for conservatives in this country, for Republicans to stick together. Because if you take even 2, 3, 5% of the vote away from some of these congressional candidates and the down ballot races underneath them, it makes the difference.
It's fascinating, too, to see this act. Don't forget, President Trump was a Democrat for a long time before he was a Republican. He is, if anything, a chameleon and a smart businessman. So it wouldn't surprise me. There were rumors that he was going to be involved with us here at Newsmax. I would welcome him on the show anytime. I'm sure you would do the same. But President Trump he's not going anywhere. I think he'll take a little time, play some golf, and sort of come up for air, if you will. But I wouldn't be surprised if President Trump is back in the not-so-distant future.
Rob, I think the best thing for the president to do, and I think it would benefit Republicans, it would certainly benefit his movement, is to really focus on rehabilitating himself and his legacy, really talking about what he accomplished during his time in office. History takes a long time to write, and if you look at Carter, if you look at Nixon, Truman, and so many others, we're still evaluating their impact. And I think that the president really needs first a strategy on how he's going to articulate his legacy before he kind of jumps back into party politics or tries to mix it up the way that he was talking about with the Patriot Party.
Tom Basile, I like having you on the show. We got to do this again.
Thank you, sir. Great to be here.
This was fun. Good to see you, my friend.
Newsmax TV is now America's fastest growing cable news channel. We give you the real news you need. So subscribe to our YouTube channel and give us a thumbs up. If you like this video, share it with your friends. Newsmax TV streams live on YouTube for free. Newsmax TV, real news for real people.